I realized the ease that you can have in manifesting, I guess, when you really trust, because so I've had money stuff where, like, I'm not really earning anything. And my sister keeps wanting to tell me that I should just get a job and stuff. But she really hasn't been doing that so much lately. But I've been just trusting that I'm fine. The universe is taking care of me. And somehow I do have more money. Like, I checked my money, I think 2 months ago, and I had more money than when I quit my job. And I checked again and I still have more money than when I quit my job, which doesn't make logical sense, but is the case. Like, I'm somehow manifesting money.
Yeah. It's like a more trust that you are having.
Yeah.
On the,
I
on
can't
the,
really say a process that I've done, but just I think it's really the fact that I have been trying not to think about it too much, because we watched a video today on YouTube that was about like manifesting your soul tribe. And the last step that they said was just to let it go and not think about it, not try to force it. And so I think that's what I've gotten to, that my sister's still struggling with, because she keeps thinking about how she needs to make more money and where it's coming from and stressing about trying to make it work. Whereas I'm just kind of flowing with it and trusting that it's working out.
Wow. But do you have, Adriana, like some underlying desire to have that money, though you are not actually thinking about it, but do you think that you have got underlying desire?
Well, yes. So I want to say it's more about the security of it. So basically, as a whole, I just want to be okay. Like, I want to have extra money, right? Because I want to be able to do things. So I want to be able to buy some new clothes soon and some other things. But for the most part, I just want to be secure and knowing that I can live and be okay. So what I'm doing is having that trust that I'm okay. And then every once in a while, when I think about something that I might want to buy, then I have that want come up of wanting to actually have money. And I get that natural resistance of, I can't buy this thing because I don't have money. And that's because I'm not working. But then I counteract that thought with, but that's okay because I'm being taken care of and I will have money. Like, so I'm putting it in like the future tense. But I think it's kind of easier for me because I have that mentality of not needing to buy things right now. Like, I've kind of had that for a while where I don't have a need to buy things that I know a lot of other people need to buy things. It's a habit. And okay, so if you are you're thinking about something that you want, you can have positive thoughts of wanting that thing. And that is telling the universe that you want that thing to come to you. But if you are having thoughts about wanting that thing out of desperation, then if you're desperate for it, then you have an underlying fear there. And the fear is preventing you from getting that thing.
Yeah. So can you give me an example?
So
Both way example. First case is
of the positive and then the
Yes.
desperation. Okay, so if you are single and you really want to be in a relationship, you can put out positive thoughts of, I want this in my life. This is what I want. Like, you can, if you're watching a movie and there is a relationship or there's a specific scene, you can think, oh, I want that. I wish I had that in my life. But you just put that out there that you want that, but you're okay without it. And you could even lay out and say, this is what I want in a relationship. This is what I would want in this person. But then you can have desperation where you see that in a movie and you're thinking, why don't I have that? I want that. I need that in order to be happy. And you think about how you're feeling not in that relationship. Well, that's another thing. So if you're having the positive thoughts, you can focus on this. I would feel this way if I was in that relationship and I want that feeling. But when you're in this sense of desperation, you're more focused on what you're feeling in the lack of it. So you're focusing on the lack that you have and that you need this in order to fill in that lack. And you're worrying about what'll happen if it doesn't happen. So you might be thinking, like, you can go down a slippery slope. You can think, oh, this person in this movie is so attractive. I want someone like this, but I can't have this person because of blank, 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 and then thinking, because I can't have this person, I'm going to wind up alone. And if I don't I'm getting older, if I don't get with someone tomorrow, then I'm going to die alone and I'm never going to be able to have children. And you go on this slope of your thoughts. And all of that is off-putting to the universe because, one, then you're going into negativity and saying the opposite of what you want, which is telling the universe that you want the opposite. And then you're putting out that desperation of, I need this. And there's also, yes, but then there's also the fact that through our life, we are supposed to heal ourselves and overcome that even if the universe knows that that is what we want, because of the sense of our desperation, the universe might pause and say, okay, but you need to get out of this before we give it to you, because otherwise you're not going to get out of that hole that you've dug yourself into, because we have to learn how to get out of that hole and fill it back in.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And when I ask you to give me an example, you actually stole my words from my mind. That's the same thing I was thinking about. And that was about to be my next question to you. And you said that. You said an answer before I put a question to you. So I was just about to ask you a question about this new relationship thing. But Adriana, like, for example, if you like someone and I like someone, and if I feel like I want this person to be in my life or in your life in relationship, but you have got like boundaries, you have got social conditioning, or you have got some obligations or maybe limitations, then how it will happen? But you still like, obviously, because you time by time, when you start thinking, I know, like, you let it go, you do the practice of let it go, but when you keep thinking, then the let it go practice gets stopped and you get into the desperation. right? Because it gets magnified, and you get like you start, like your mind start giving you a fascination, fascination of
Well,
pleasure.
your desperation is coming from something, right? It's coming from the fear,
Well,
coming from
I don't want to use the
insecurity.
word desperation, but I want to use the strong desire. Let's say, for
Mm-hmm.
example, you have got a craving, you can say,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you can say because your mind starts giving you a fascination, or you're fascinated by the thoughts that you're feeling, that you're with the person you're going to together, and you start living together, and you just uh, have that sort of pleasurable um, energy and thought form
Mm-hmm.
in your mind, and you start building up slowly, slowly,
Mm-hmm.
slowly, and you're visualizing that moments that you can be with that person, and then you will be together, and you'll do that activity and that activity together, and
Mm-hmm.
that sort of visualization. So what about that one?
Well,
Do you
so
think that
visualizing.
yeah, yeah,
No,
please go
say
ahead.
what you were gonna say first.
I was thinking, like, is that helping the person to get the things closer?
So doing visualizations is helpful, yes,
Hmm.
because then you are cementing more what it is that you want. Because then you're
Hmm.
putting out there, I want this specific person. I want our relationship to be like this. So, yes, that is helpful. But when you use the word like craving, that could go either way. Because so, really, what it comes down to is the space that you are in.
Hmm.
So, the space that you are in and the space that they are in,
Hmm.
because we have different relationships with people as well.
Hmm.
So, like, I'm not saying that every person's going to be like your twin flame or something, but depending on where you both are at, there might
Hmm.
be a separation because of you not healing to the point that you need to. So if there is a level of loneliness within you, that
Hmm.
you are craving this other person because you have a loneliness,
Hmm.
then that can still be off-putting. But if it is coming from a sense of, I'm not sure what word to best use, but
Sense of belongingness, do you want to say?
yeah, I was going to go with companionship, but that works.
Hmm.
But so from the place of being with them rather than them, completing you, because
Yeah.
you have to be in that place of realizing that you are whole
Hmm.
and okay by yourself, but then still wanting that.
Hmm. Yeah. Very deep. It's very deep. Please don't forget to send me these 2 recordings.
Yes.
I love to go back and see that. Yeah. No, I
And
can
so
see
that
that.
isn't to say that you can't obviously get in a relationship without, with that, but just that can stand in the way of you trying to manifest it
Yeah.
and could lead to, a potential breakup because of that dynamic.
Hmm. Yeah. But sometimes it happens automatically, like for having no even planning, you know. Sometime, you know, something happens that you're not aware of that, and you get you get like, you come across through the chemistry that it's a positive chemistry between two people, isn't it? Like it happens out of the blue sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So sometimes I try to understand, but I don't use my mind too much to get into that because I get lost.
Well, what's really your question about that? Like, what is confusing about that to you?
Not too much confusion, but just wondering, like, what is that like if someone actually is getting fascinated or attracted towards some person, then how actually the things actually arises, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
how actually both get much closer and gets into relationship and goes for a long time. So means I was just trying to understand that, the
Mm-hmm.
part of logic behind it.
So for the most part, what I was saying is like trying to call someone in when you don't have someone. But if you know someone in real life, you've interacted with them, and you're trying to get them to like you back, I mean, doing the visualizations and stuff, like you said, would be helpful, but again, you'd have to be in that place of being okay if they didn't like you back. So like keeping them in your life, but not necessarily having the relationship that you want. But if you're asking about how to move forward with someone, if you are already starting a relationship with someone, then that would have to be more specific.
Yeah. So do you think specification, more specific, should make building up more good connection?
Well, I just mean for me to say anything on it, it would have to be more specific
Yeah,
to know what the
like,
question would be. Like, I know you said if like obligations and stuff are in the way, and I mean, that all depends on the circumstance. So it depends on
yeah,
what options you have to work around that and what matters most to you, because you have to make compromises at times. And so it's what compromises can you make where?
yeah. See, that is sometimes very full of disappointing, like, compromises, isn't it? It's very hurt. It's hurtful. Like, it's very not pleasurable experiences, but I know the compromises are sometimes cannot be in your favor, isn't it? Can make you down. Yeah. I've got so many questions on that, but maybe next time I'll ask you more deep into that. So one thing is coming in my mind to ask you, but maybe next time, because the elaboration and your explanation will be much more time taking, which I like to have a time taking session with you. I love talking to you, Adriana. Amazing. Like, I feel energized and very clarity. Means thank you very much for being so patient and be a good listener, and very much paying your undivided attention into the conversation, which I try to do the same with you. And I feel involved and connected.
Yeah.
So I hope I expected the same from you. Well, because I try to find the answer from hypothetical and would like to fit into the personal things, So,
and I mean, it is helpful though. It's a little harder for me to answer just because I'm trying to make it so broad, to cover everything. And I'm like, well, it could go this way, it could go this way. Whereas it's easier to answer things when there's specifics, but
yeah. Well, I think I need to be specific to you, to put a question, right? Maybe give you a real example. I think examples will help you too. So sometimes I feel like juggling in my mind that I should ask you or not, especially related with this love relationship questions. So yeah.
Well, the more specific you are, the more I can try to actually help.
Yes, I know. Maybe I can put some my personal examples, and or maybe some people example into that, and maybe more specific. So, but thank you very much for giving me encouragement and motivation, and letting me open up with my questions.
Good.
Yeah, which you are great in that. And yeah, so that's good. Always there is something, a purpose to discuss. So I feel there is a purpose behind it. And I have no words to talk with you. So I feel great. Like it's like a dose for a 1 week for me. Because when I go to work, I always play his videos on YouTube, and I watch every like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And he mentioned Course of Miracles in that. And I was surprised. Oh my God. Then I remember you. And I say, oh yes, that's amazing. You are him are on the same pace. You must have been somewhere else, Adriana, not here. Your place is not here.